Hey guys, welcome to our fun little celebration for Kayleen, her author friends, and models joining us tonight to celebrate her latest release. We are excited for you to be here. Remember, before joining us, if you want to comment tonight, you need to click the link before you popped in here to give Facebook permission to use a third-party site so we can see you. If it doesn't work for you, as you're commenting, just say your name so we know who's tuning in. Let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from. And without further ado, let's have our host for the evening, Miss Kayleen Winter. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. So happy to take money today. Look at me. I'm at an Irish pub in my basement.
I know. I absolutely
it's
love it.
pretty fitting, don't you think? Because the theme of Fearless, which is my latest release, is about an Irish rogue rock star.
So basically right up our alley here.
Right up our alley. And you're going to get to meet our Irish rogue rock star pretty soon, like the real Connor, kind of. It's really our model that played Connor. But he's kind of Connor now to me. So,
yes. So he will be joining us shortly. We kind of have like a little show planned, and we whipped this thing together in 3 to 4 days. And Kayleen's a trooper, and we're trying to do something fun and different. And so yeah, Kayleen, let's hop in.
Yes.
So Fearless is number what book of yours?
This is my third full-length book, and I have a prequel novella called Restless that came out earlier this year. It's the Lesson Zero Rockstar Romance series, which has been in my mind for literally since I was 15 years old, and it came to life last year in June with the first book, Endless.
And how's this experience been so far for you?
I got to tell you, this has been the absolute joy of my life to do this and to actually, everything about it, from writing to releasing to meeting all of the amazing people in the community. I get a little emotional thinking about it because I have been working on the other side of it for so many years that to actually be a creative and actually have my creative vision come through, it's just been phenomenal. And I've got to just do a shout out because it wouldn't be possible for me to do this seriously without the two women who started this journey with me back when I was 15. And we would go to the mall and we wanted to marry rock stars. And I'm not going to even date myself to tell you which rock stars we wanted to marry. But I wrote a book when I was 15, and I wrote this book about us marrying rock stars. And so my friend Chris and my friend Sheila are the inspirations behind Alex in Limitless and Ronnie in Fearless, which just came out today. And they encouraged me when I found that old manuscript, almost 2.5 years ago. They said, why don't you love reading romance? Why don't you try it? So here we are.
And we're glad that you are, because I love that you've been giving the behind the scenes and all the little bits that you've been giving have made this book really exciting to just even be part of, because we kind of are joining you on the tail end of things. And it's just been so exciting watching the build up, the TikToks. I don't know if you guys follow Kayleen on TikTok too, because those videos are off the chain. Speaking of videos, the photography and all of that wonderfulness, tell us the person, the mastermind behind all that for you.
Okay, so I was really fortunate. I was a book author stalker for many years because I literally, some of the people that are joining me soon are people that I have followed and read their books. And so I'm just so amazed that they're here with me today. But as I was reading through all these books, there was a photographer that I could just tell the same work from this woman. And I was like, I wonder if she would actually be my photographer. And her name is Regina Wamba. And I'm hoping to do another interview with her soon. She couldn't make it tonight. She had family in town. But Regina Wamba has done the covers for so many amazing romance authors. And she's a brilliant photographer. And she's also a book cover designer. And she has stock photos. She's like a maven of authordom. So if you don't know her, find her. She's amazing.
I've been following Regina for years. I've seen her in action. Like, her work is exceptional. The fact, and not only that, her range, she can do anything from fantasy to something sexy, rocker. or even something so gentle.
I'm calling my dog because he's gotten tangled up in a tie. Sorry.
So what are those pretty things behind you?
So this is, this is the book.
Yeah.
And I have the book. Wait, I got it. Those Fearless. So I just got this today. And, gosh, it's thick.
I will say, what's it like to hold something like that you worked so hard on?
Well, and it's amazing. And I have a really cool picture on the inside. So I'm getting better at this.
Formatting is on point.
Journey. Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Well, do you want to go ahead and add the other ladies and introduce this wonderful group to everyone that's participating? And
I do.
In.
All right. Hey.
Hi.
There's Tyler and Charlie.
Bring in Miss Sasha.
There's Miss Sasha.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to look at my notes here. Do we have extra people? Because we have extra people in the waiting room. So we'll just kind of...
Oh, there's Tracy. She's not an author. She's just my friend.
Okay, Tracy. We're just bring everybody in right now.
My friend, my very good friend.
We're like the Brady Bunch now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
everybody want to kind of introduce themselves?
Yeah, so I would love, I'll let Sasha, you're like my partner in crime on doing this video. Sasha's the one who is, and if you haven't read Guitar Face, and Sasha has a lot of books out, but Guitar Face literally changed my life just recently. Like, she's my new spirit animal right now. And so Sasha is the one who encouraged me to do a video party. So we didn't just do another Facebook, click and post giveaway thing. We wanted to do something fun. So Sasha, do you want to take over and announce all these authors real quick while I go untangle my dog from the St. Patty's Day boa that he has on? But you're on mute though, Missy.
You're muted, Sasha. Unmute your mic. There you go. Now we can hear you.
Thank you. Okay, so first I want to introduce Charlie B. Rose. And if you'll tell us a little bit about your books and about yourself.
So I published my first book at the end of 2018, and I am about to release book number 9 in a few weeks. This is book number 1, and it is about my lead singer of Lyrical Odyssey, and he has a trilogy about him, and the keyboardist is the one getting a book now. So, and I have a paranormal vampire songwriter trilogy out, and then a standalone rocker romance that's not part of my series. So, but all of my books have musicians in them.
Thank you, Charlie. And I also want to introduce Kella Campbell, if you'll also tell us about your books and yourself.
Well, I published my first book, Rockstar's Heart, in 2018, and it was a standalone at the time. I was not expecting it to be a series, but you know how it is. The other characters started talking, the other band members started talking to me and wanted their own books. So I have a second one, Rock God in Exile, and I'm working on the third one. So we've got drummer and bassist down, and guitarist and bassist down, and I'm working on the drummer now. Oh, and I'm from Vancouver, Canada. So if my accent sounds weird, I'm Canadian.
Well, I like your hat. You look cute. I like I love it that I would totally rock the stuff, but Mama's life and all. But yes,
I didn't have a green shirt, so I thought
pop a color. It works.
All right. Thank you, Kella. And then next, I want to introduce Athena Wright. If you will tell us about yourself and your books as well. She's another Rockstar Romance author. And I like to say, Athena, you were one of the first Rockstar Romance authors I read.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yes, it feels like I've been writing rock stars for a very long time. And I'm sort of the same as you, where I didn't remember this until my friend mentioned it to me. She was like, remember that Rockstar story you wrote in high school? And I thought, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that in years. And it was only recently that she mentioned it. And I thought, oh, so I've had my Rockstar roots for a very long time. So yeah, I think most popular series that most people probably know is Hard Rock Tease, the Darkest Days series, and Hard Rock Crush, the Cherry Lip series. And I'm really excited because after 2 years of no rock stars, I can't believe I managed to go 2 years without writing rock stars, but I needed a break. I was like, if I write one more concert scene, I swear to God. But I'm finally back, and I actually don't have the paperback because Amazon is very slow to deliver paperbacks to Canada. I'm from Toronto. But this is the cover of my newest, can you see it?
Yeah.
Hard Rock Desires in my new series, Until We Break. So that's coming out next week.
Oh, very good.
Yay.
Thank you. And then I'm going to introduce Miss Tyler Page, also a Rockstar Romance author. If you'll tell us about yourself and your wonderful books.
Hi, I'm Tyler. You can call me Ty. I guess they say, or my tagline is "Broken hearts tell the best stories," and I do take that to heart. I use that for everything now, and I do write Rockstar Romance. I've got 5 books currently, 6 coming in May. This is my first one. It's called Missing You, Missing Me. It's a story about, well, the premise is 2 battle of the bands, the singers, one, the hero and the heroine, and it's just a second chance, it's a long time coming romance. They've been fighting forever, and the romance trope. But then my last one is a spin-off series with their future kids. I mean, spoiler.
I'm laughing because my cooler back here because I'm sitting in front of my bar and it's so loud. So I'm sorry about that, you guys.
It's not that loud. You're good.
Thank you. And then we have Miss Deanne Needham, who is also a Rockstar Romance author.
Yes.
She has a wonderful series as well.
I go by Donna, but I always put DM. The first book I ever released was back in 2019, and very much like Kayleen and Athena, in high school, yes, I wrote about rock stars. And yes, there was that fantasy at one point in my life. But anyway, the first book I ever wrote was My Days with the Dark Muse. I re-released this back in 2020, November, and it's about a bass player who has a serious addiction problem. It's his journal. So it kind of goes really dark. And then this book, my most recent release, which came out in February, is a standalone, but there are some people from the series in it, so I've kind of said it was part of the series. And that is Love is Worth Waiting For. And it's set in Hollywood. And it's a second chance romance with a secret baby and all that other good stuff. And a little bit of an indecent proposal, I would say. So it's a twisted romantic suspense that seems to have done pretty good as far as reviews. So that's me.
All right, Miss Sasha, you get to talk about yourself now.
Oh, that's always fun. I like when everybody else talks about themselves. I'm Sasha Marshall, author of the Guitar Face series, and this is my lighting in here. It's horrible, so I apologize. My newest release, There's a Woman. It is the 6th book, which is Jagger's book in the series. And I have a football romance coming out in a couple of months as well. I don't have a cover for that yet. So I'm a little nervous about going outside of rock stars, but we'll see how
You got
it goes.
this.
I love football romance.
I do too.
Yeah,
I'm actually reading one right now. I'm in a kick.
Okay.
So it's very popular right now, sports, football, romances. So I think you'll be fine.
I hope so. Well, I think we all worry once you're labeled a rock star romance author that, it's harder to get outside of that sometimes, and you just hope that your fan base follows you. So
Hopefully they just like your worlds. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I know that when I find an author, and I'm just speaking as a fan right now, when I find an author that I love, I will literally devour every single thing, and I can't stop until I'm done. Like, it's like a Netflix addiction that I have only with books.
Right.
So I have to write them all. But I you know what? Because I have you all here, and because you're, thank you again for being here. I would love to know, like, sort of why you decided to do Rockstar Romance. Because for me, that I was in high school, but then I ended up going and I worked in music for a long time before I had some time to actually write my Rockstar Romance. And I really lived in Seattle during the 90s and did a bunch of Rockstar stuff here. And so it was really fun to sort of put little Easter eggs and things like that throughout my books that are not about the bands I worked with, but they are, just things that you remember that happened, or funny things with roadies or things like that. That's fun to put in. So what about you guys?
Who wants to
Don't
go?
go at once.
Start at the Brady Bunch circle. Start with Donna.
I had a background in. I worked in insurance. That was the worst job in the world. But I worked on a TV show. I had a friend who was in a band. I was in a band. When my friend was in a band, I was kind of in her entourage. So I followed her around. I did some TV modeling. So I took all of that stuff and brought it into my books. And I hung out with rock stars and stuff. So hanging out with them, you kind of pick up on what their lives are like. So all that stuff, I kind of just threw it all together. And I started a book back in 1988. And when my husband went to dialysis, I got stuck at Barnes & Noble waiting for him. So as I'm sitting there, I started writing days, and I started as a blog, and I had people rehab centers actually following me, thinking that this was this real guy. And I'm like, are you guys nuts? This is just a character. So it just morphed into something else. So, I mean, I kind of fell into the Rockstar Romance thing with the other book because Avon was offering a contract. And so I sat down and tried, and I ended up not submitting it because I didn't like what the contract said. So, but I like writing in that world. I like the entertainment industry. I always have. So Rockstars and entertainment. That's why Jackie Collins was,
Yes,
idol.
totally.
Anne Rice and Jackie. My first foray into writing was vampires, but Jackie Collins and Anne Rice, that was it. So.
Yep, me too. Sorry, I didn't mean to react.
No, that's okay.
I
It's
love
awesome.
Jackie Collins.
Want to react?
No, most people don't know who Jackie Collins is now. And if you think about it, the leopard.
Do you know
Jackie
Joan Collins, the actress? It's her sister. And she's
Yeah.
like a very famous romance author from like the 80s.
She gave us the reason we can write smut, to put it blankly, is because she wrote a book called The Stud, and there was another book called the BITCH, and they were scandalous at the time. And nobody really knows Jackie anymore because she passed away, I think, back in the 2008 or 2009. But she was awesome.
Yep.
So,
Old school.
yeah. So
All right, Sasha.
Oh, is it my
Why do you
turn?
like rock stars?
Okay, so I've just always loved rock stars. Eddie Vedder was my first love. I grew up in the grunge era, so I liked a lot of the grunge rockers, but he was my favorite. And I think that once you have that crush, your first celebrity crush is on a rock star, you just never really recover from that. And then I actually toured with a few bands during the 40th anniversary tour for the Allman Brothers Band and a few other bands throughout the years as a concert photographer. So I kind of got to see a lot of the industry, especially what it was like for the guys on the road. So that's kind of how I got into it. My first story or first book just kind of developed in my head over years. And finally one day I sat down and wrote it, and I wrote the first draft in about a week and a half. And that was it.
nice.
Charlie.
So I am a molecular geneticist by day and never intended to be a writer. But rocker romance has been my go-to genre for many years. And I was doing freelance editing, and one of my clients liked how I reworked one of her scenes to show her how to do something better. And she's like, why don't you write? And at that point, the voices started, and they don't shut up. So now they come into the books.
They never shut up. They just keep going and wake you
I was
up.
gonna
And
say, how do
everything else.
you leave?
Yes.
And they never wait their turn.
No.
I'm like, take a number. It's not your turn yet.
They're very impatient.
Yeah.
They are.
All right, Taylor, tell us why you write rock star romance.
yeah, I was trying to think while you guys were talking what my journey to rockstar romance was. I think my biggest thing was I grew up in the emo era of like punk pop music, like My Chemical Romance and Panic at the Disco and stuff like that. And I actually, I guess this is weird to say. When I was in high school, there was a boy who everyone said he looks like just like Gerard Way, who is the singer of My Chemical Romance. And and all the girls said he looks just like him. He looks just like him. I ended up marrying him, and my two sons. If I put a picture of Gerard Way right next to my husband's picture, they cannot tell the difference. And his family half the time can't either. So I guess I kind of live a little vicariously through my rock stars, and myself. But I think that's kind of where my obsession with rock stars started. But yeah, I guess that's where it's, yeah.
All right, Kella.
Well, I feel like such a fraud, honestly, because I don't have any real band or music experience. How it all started was when my daughter was a toddler, and the only way I could get her to sleep, honestly, was by walking with the stroller till she fell asleep, and then parking myself at a coffee shop and writing until she woke up. And this worked fine. This worked fine for both of us. But at the time, at the coffee shop near where I lived at the time, there was a young man working there. And, I'd be sitting there for a couple of hours in the afternoon. It would get quiet, and he would chat to me about his band and guitars and, being I was just absorbing and making little notes. And I thought that, as you said, the characters started talking. I thought I can use this. So I have a profound lot of gratitude for Tynan, who worked at the Cedar Cottage coffee shop a long time ago, because I would not have started this path if I hadn't learned about guitars and stuff from him. So
that's amazing. It all started at a coffee shop.
Did you send him a book?
Yeah, did you?
Sorry?
Did you send him a book?
You know what? I dedicated the book to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Let me see. I don't know if it'll show up on the screen. I will try to. No, it's going to white out there.
Read us the dedication.
Read it, yeah.
Once there was a musician who worked at a coffee shop where I used to write, and when it was quiet, he talked to me about guitars.
That's sweet.
I love it.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Nice.
Well, last but not least, Athena.
So it wasn't until you mentioned that story that I was like, oh yeah, I should tell that story of my own. Originally, I was just going to say, I have I'm not in a band that I play music. I live a fangirl life. It's always been from the other side. My very first concert was David Usher from the band Moist went solo, and he did a tour, and he came to my little town, and my mind was blown. I was like sitting at the gate going, oh, and this guy I knew from high school was like, you really love this guy, right? And I was like, I am in love. And he's like, well, I'm taking care of the lighting if you want to hop backstage. And I got to meet David Usher, and I was like, I'm gonna die. And he was so nice. He remembered my name at the beginning, and then he called me by my name at the end, and I was like, I can't handle this. So ever since then, I was like, I love rock stars. But my true love has always been the band Stabbing Westward. And they were, I think in the 90s, the alt rock thing, they were huge, but they're not so big anymore. And they recently came to New York and did their 20th anniversary tour. And my favorite Stabbing Westward album is Darkest Days, which is what I named my series after. And I also wrote a dedication, and I said, this book is dedicated to the real-life rock band Stabbing Westward. Their music helped me through some of my darkest days, just as I hope my books may help you through yours. And I went to that 20th anniversary concert paid ungodly amounts of money for VIP meet and greet tickets, and got Christopher Hall, lead singer, to sign my book.
Nice.
The book that I named after him. Yes.
That is so
Christina,
cool.
thanks for including us in your art. And he made a comment about like shirtless guys on my covers, and I was like, this guy ain't shirtless, which means he looked me up to see my other covers because my other covers have shirtless guys. I'm not saying we're BFF. I'm just saying we're BFF now. So that's always
Did you
been
give
me.
them a copy? Did you give them a copy? Did you have one on you?
No, I only had the one copy, and I was like, I want this one because I want it signed. And I was like, well, whatever, it's fine. Not like he's gonna read it. I don't really want him reading the smut that I wrote about him. Not that it's about him. I just took inspiration. So, yes, I've always just lived a fangirl life.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gave Joseph Morgan a copy of my book, the guy who plays Klaus Michelson on the originals. But that's when I first released it. It was crappily edited, and I'm sorry that I did that. But I did it, and it was terrifying, but I did it. So next time you see Stabbing Westward, do it.
Oh my God, they have to do another reunion tour. It was the best night of my life.
You guys need to travel with just extra copies in your purse. Like, always have two handy.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
I did that because I would have people that would ask me, like, once they found out I was a writer, do you have a copy of your book? Sure. Hold on. Let me go to my car and get it. Be right back.
That's amazing. Hey, good marketing. Word of mouth, people.
Well, what's really cool is all you guys are going to be posting on our My Romance Lounge page, and they'll be giving some special stuff away. So everybody that's listening, please make sure you look there, because if you haven't read any of these amazing authors, I really want you to, because, I mean, again, I'm just feeling in awe and inspired by the fact that I'm with all you guys. So thank you, gosh, for being here. It's amazing.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been fun.
All right, so we're going to bring in the models. Ladies, I'm going to, besides Sasha, thank you guys for coming, and hopefully we can do this again. I love doing this and getting to know people and having, something different and fun to do. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. And I'll tee it up before we bring them in. So I want you to talk about a little bit. I did this massive photo shoot, and I did photo shoots for all my books, and I was supposed to do it last year, but obviously COVID happened. And so I picked out these models, and we were setting it all up with Regina, and then we had to cancel the whole thing. And I just kept, even though I released 2 books, and the models that I released the books with are my models for forever, and they're like I feel like they're actually my characters. I said that before. It was, I didn't know what to expect. And like doing a photo shoot is crazy amount of work. Like I didn't know that. I've been on the other side of it for many years and not the client. And so just everything from planning wardrobe and planning the location and planning the sets and going through my books and figuring out what scenes that I wanted to capture and then what they'd be wearing and making sure that if I described something in the book that we had something that fit. So it was actually quite intense to like go back and do all that. But we managed to go to, believe it or not, Minneapolis. I know that you're going to be shocked at that, but what a great little, I mean, I did no idea like the creative energy that was there. And now I really love it. Now it's a little cold for me to live, and my mom's family is from there. So I got to see some of my cousins when I was there, but I got to tell you, I'm going back to Minneapolis, and we just had this amazing photo shoot, and I got to meet these models who, I'm not kidding you, like they're all like the sweetest, nicest, most amazing giving people. And they're so amazing and giving that Shorty and Christine, who are Connor and Ronnie in my book Fearless, have agreed to like come on board and talk about photo shoots and like what it was. And I want you to hear it from them because they're the ones who you're seeing like steamy pictures of.
Right. Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Yay.
All right, please welcome Christine and Shorty. Welcome.
What's up?
Oh my God, I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming. How does it feel to be Connor and Ronnie all of a sudden? Like you were Christine and Shorty, and now like you have a whole other persona.
It's so cute. No, we've honestly had so much fun, and watching, all the photos and videos release and just the excitement surrounding it has been amazing. We're so proud of you. We really are.
Thank you.
Aww.
Well, people want to know a lot of stuff about you. Like you're now your public persona. Like you're out here now. So I know, Sasha, you have some questions that people have asked, right?
Yes, I do. Let me put my iPad up real quick. Give me just a
So,
second.
well, tell me, like, when you went to the photo shoot, did you have any idea? Like, I mean, Christine, Shorty, you talk a lot in your social media that you used to model, you didn't really like it too much. Christine, you are like, I mean, your pictures on your social, follow Christine. There's links all over in my post, so you can find her. But you model all the time. You just did a bridal shoot yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like I stalk you guys.
No.
So what was it like? Like, was it anything that you expected?
She just kind of told me we were doing it, to be honest.
I really did. I just was like, okay, so here's what we're doing. And I kind of told him what to expect. But I mean, I'm sure for him, it was probably a little different. I don't know. It's been a while since he's done it, but I personally was so proud. I thought he did amazing.
You did. Like, I mean, we made you pose and do ab shots.
No, you made it super fun though. I actually had a really good time doing it. So
I'll say the behind the scenes things that we've gotten that she has shared, it's been really cool just to see you guys in action and the water shots and everything, and kind of that's different from the author world. We don't normally get that side. So it was really cool to see you guys working in action, and Regina's creative mind kind of, you get to see in depth what she came up with and her and Kayleen came up with together. And it was just really neat to see you guys work together so well.
Yeah, Regina's incredible. I mean, you could tell she really listened to Kayleen and like took the story and made it alive, with her direction. And then, us actually being as in love as we are, that made it a little bit easier. But yeah.
That always helps. You guys are a real life couple. Definitely.
Well, it's true, because we did the photo shoot for all the books, and 3 of the books were shot in Minneapolis. And of all the books that were shot, 2 of the couples are actually couples, and Christine and Shorty are obviously a couple. But I know, Sasha, did you get your questions pulled up? Because I know that
I did, but I was going to say,
minds want to know.
I remember the first thing I said when I looked at you guys' pictures, but, oh, they look so in love. They're great actors. She said they're really a couple. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
It comes off on the screen.
Okay, so
it made it all a little bit easier.
inquiring minds want to know how long you've been together.
So this is actually the wild part of our relationship. So we have been really close friends for 10 years. We have been an official couple for really only 4 or 5 months.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
But you were friends first. That's awesome.
Yeah. Who pursued who? That's my question. Sorry, I'm jumping in. I'm curious. Minds wants to know this one. Who pursued who?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're like, I've invested this much in the friendship. Might as well take it to the next level.
Yeah, well, I was planning on leaving Minneapolis, and then her and I started hanging out, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, shoot, maybe there's something here. Maybe I'll stick around for a little bit and see if it's worth it. And turned out it was.
Oh,
that's so sweet. I love that.
Yeah,
before you ask the question, Shorty, you got to show this tattoo, because it is, seriously, I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
It's the absolute most badass tattoo I've ever seen.
Wow.
No, sir. That is cool. How long did that take?
The line work is incredible.
It was about 30 hours.
Wow.
I mean, it's like when I first met them, like the first thing I did, I was like, oops, we can see your chins.
Sorry.
When I first met you.
Of course, I just screwed up my whole story.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay. We'll keep talking. That's all right.
Live. It's like a Zoom call. So when we...
Oh my God.
Okay. You're okay.
Is super tall. How tall are you, Shorty? Shorty, how tall are you?
I'm 6'8".
Yeah, so
wow.
It's hard to get a camera to... Because how tall are you, Christine?
I'm 5'7".
Yeah, so there's a little...
Yeah.
The first thing I'm like, hi, it's nice to meet you, Shorty. Here, I'm going to grab your arm and steady it. So I was like, can I take a picture of it close? I have all these like close-up shots so I could describe it in the book. So I got that right before I got it to the editor once I got back. So it's in the book.
Hell yeah, I love it.
All right, Sasha, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Also, somebody said you guys are so adorable together, which is absolutely true. And then I actually have a question for you. I wanted to know how you got into the roles for Connor and Ronnie. Did you read the book? How did you kind of get into it?
So when we
Did you just listen to Kayleen?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
when we first did our fitting, we sat down with her and she kind of told us the rundown of the couple and kind of where he comes from and how he meets her and that whole. And there were so many similarities actually between, his protectiveness of me and just the way we actually interact already that I mean, she must have known looking at us that it was going to be almost personality perfect too. So.
Well, it's so funny because it was like everything about that photo shoot for me was magical, and I talk about that all the time. And this is really a really good example of it because we originally were going to do the photo shoot in Los Angeles, and I think I don't know that you guys knew that, and so we were going to do it in LA because the model Brandon Katz, who's on Endless, the very first book, is in LA, and his wife, who's Zoe, who's the new Zoe, she's pregnant, and so they couldn't travel because she's pregnant and with COVID and everything. We're going to do it in LA. And so when COVID kind of shut LA down, Regina was the one who was like, I have the perfect person for Ronnie. And I think maybe she's dating this guy that might be perfect for Connor. So would you mind changing it out a little bit? And I'm like, no. Especially when she started showing me, I was like, oh my God, they're adorable. They are Connor and Ronnie. So it all works out.
So Regina was pushing you guys in that direction and helped set all that up. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Regina, like I said, Regina has such a good eye for filling a description. It's like you give her something, she can just fill it so quickly. She's so good at that. She's so talented.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys happy with the videos? Are you happy with the pictures?
Oh my God, we love them.
Hell yeah.
They're so cute.
They're
Are you
wonderful.
sharing them everywhere? You guys need to go far and wide. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Her TikTok, how many thousands of likes have you got now? Because
so this is just new. You guys don't know this yet. Just about 3 or 4 days ago, I went over 1 million views of my videos on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes, that's amazing.
And you guys are a big part of it. So
you're a big help in that. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love to see it.
Yeah. Are you guys on TikTok at all? Or do you guys do any social media stuff?
We're just on Instagram and Facebook. We don't TikTok.
I didn't either. And I didn't either until the day after your photo shoot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it just skyrockets.
Well, she's like, I'm winging it. I'm just throwing these things up here. And she's like, they're people were eating it up. And I'm like, yeah, like readers don't ever get the behind the scenes videos and the views and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was completely like exclusivity. And it went off with like wildfire.
So are you guys going to do more book covers or do I get you forever?
Does she get the exclusive contract? Just
I won't speak for him this time on just throwing him into another job.
Yeah, I don't know either way. I'll just see whatever she makes me do.
I love that.
Well, what other questions do we have for Shorty? Do you guys have any questions for me? Like, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm stoked to read it. Like I messaged you the one day I flew through the first two in like a night and a half. I started reading it and then it was just over. I was like, nope, we're gonna like I can't even stop with the one book. It was like it was one big book because I just turned the page and it's the second book. So yeah, I'm stoked to read it.
I know, and I'm a little like we were talking about this earlier, and I think that I'm a little bit, of course, I'm a little bit like nervous because you're going to read about yourself. Because you've read the other books, so it's just sort of weird. But we'll get through it together, won't we?
I'll message you immediately. So
see, the readers like the videos. I mean, they're so good.
You know what? The one thing I wanted to share is like those wet pictures of all like you guys wet. Do you guys want to share how hysterically funny that was to get those shots? Because it was literally like the funniest sort of, it was like MacGyver.
Yeah, what's going on in your all's head when that water is just like coming
Well, it's
down?
not literally, it's like a cup of water. Go, you guys tell it.
Hey,
You were
I
doing it.
will give them credit though. They did warm the water up. So in Minnesota, that's
Cool.
a real blessing.
It's a treat. Really.
Yeah.
But the setup was funny, and again, it's kudos to Regina of how incredible she can make really a very goofy looking thing turn into an absolutely beautiful shot, because he's sitting on a stool in all of his 6'8", and I'm trying to like get myself, like straddling him to like get the shot of me holding without us standing, because he can't hold me the whole time. So I'm like scooting, but then the stool is slipping in the water. He's slipping. I'm slipping.
So,
Pedro, water,
slippery. Yeah.
combination.
Yeah, you would never know it. The pictures are wonderful.
Well, it's a combination
But the
of
thing is that I feel like it's beauty and art all in one, and it's also difficult. And Kayleen is having some difficulties. I don't know, but we'll keep this going. But being as a model, I know a lot of people in the industry, and it's like the pain, no gain, and the movements and everything that you have to do. It's like, but just to get that shot, you're so proud of that, because you're like, I did that, we did that. Okay, I got to figure out what's going on with Kayleen. You can ask another question, Sasha.
Do we have any comments in the comment section over here from any of the readers?
There's lots of comments that they're excited, they're loving the book. I'm gonna remove Kayleen and see if we can add her back. Does that work?
There she is. Yeah.
Now I'm in a different Brady Bunch.
I don't hear
square. Can you guys
I
hear
see
me?
her, but I don't hear her.
Yeah, I can hear her.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can
Okay.
hear? I can't. It must be me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's you. You're the one with the internet issues. But I was gonna say, like the water scene, like we had a ladder because we couldn't get high enough, and we were pouring water in a cup with
I
a
can't
kettle.
hear anything. What's going on?
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yeah,
I can hear you. I can hear both of you.
It's you. It's you. Anyways, well, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. You're so nice. By the way, I sent you books today.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, I love it.
I really, really have no idea. Like, you guys made it so amazing and wonderful, and I really appreciate you both so much. And you're being such good sports about it all, and it's making it so great for everybody. So we really appreciate it.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
of course.
we've actually had a really good time doing it. So it's been fun.
Cool. Is there any other questions?
No, that was it for these guys. We do have
You
some
guys
questions
go.
for you, though.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you guys can stick around or you can head out. It's up to you guys.
We actually have to go, but congratulations. We are so excited. I can't wait to read the book. I know he's gonna too. So
Yay.
It might take me a couple days.
Thank
She'll
you.
do it in one night. It might take me.
All right. We'll see you guys
Thanks
later.
again,
Thank you,
guys.
Kayleen.
All right. Are you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
Okay. Are any real life people the inspiration for your characters?
So that's a loaded question. Yes and no. So I did mention that I worked with a lot of artists, and I worked in the club, a big club here in Seattle. And so yes, in the sense that concert scenes and behind the scenes and how concerts are set up and, just how things work, the business side of it. A lot of that is completely taken from things that I have had in my past. I didn't put anybody that, again, I'm from Seattle, so you can probably guess, like a lot of the people that I knew back then, none of the characters are based on anybody real, except for Connor, who, and of course, Shorty, he's based on Shorty now. But my husband is Irish, so you can see I have an Irish pub behind me. This was, we owned an Irish pub for many years, and we go to Ireland all the time when we're not in COVID. And I really wanted to create a true to life sort of Irish American. He's not Irish American. He's actually really Irish, but Connor is an Irish American where his family is from Northern Ireland, just like my husband. And so it was a little bit of a love letter to my in-laws. So yes, that for Fearless, yes, for sure.
Good answer. All right. Where did you find inspiration for Tyson?
Okay. So when I wrote my book when I was 15, and I found it in a storage unit or storage like locker thing before I moved into we were moving house, and I didn't want to take a bunch of crap with me. So I was trying to, I call it curate my old crap. And I found this manuscript, and it was this 15-year-old manuscript from, well, it wasn't 15 years old, but it was when I was 15. And the lead character in that manuscript was named Tyson Rainier. So that was the only thing I kept from that book, because what he wore in the book was leather cheetah pants. And so clearly we've evolved from then. That probably dates me a little bit, but
I love it. I love it.
Where Tyson came from.
Awesome. Okay. How would you describe your rock stars? Realistic or every woman's fantasy?
I like to think they're really a combination of both, because what's funny is that a lot of my friends from the music industry have read the books, because including, you know, some of the people that I worked with have read the books. They all have blessed me doing this. But unfortunately, because I'm from Seattle, a lot of the characters, you know, like a lot of the bands that we have here, you know, there's been a lot more sort of tragedy and stuff that's happened in some of our Seattle bands. And so I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted there to always be a redemption story. And like in Restless, for instance, which is the prequel, it's set in the 90s, and the lead character does have a problem, but he overcame it. And so there's some reality in it, and there's some fantasy in it, in the sense that, you know, all of them have these realistic band situations, but they of course find their true love, and basically they move heaven and earth to be together throughout their own particular obstacles. And I don't know that that's always necessarily true in the rock industry, but that's the fantasy part of the rock star romance.
We all want the bad boy, right? To tame them.
Yeah, we want them to only love us.
Right, of course.
It's special.
Okay, we have several more questions. Are you a pantser or a plotter?
Okay, so I'll first talk about what a pantser is versus a plotter for those people that do not know. So a pantser is someone who just writes by the seat of their pants. It's sort of a cute little term. And a plotter is someone who actually plots out their story to the end, and you follow that plot. Some people who are plotters are completely like gonzo about plotting, and they, you know, when they go to write, it's really quick because they've already got it, you know, kind of plotted out. So I would say that for Endless, it was a full-on pantser, because I had no clue what I was doing, other than I was just going to write the story, and it really just flowed from me. I think with Limitless, because I had all the characters intersect, and their stories and their timelines are very intricate and they're complicated. It started as I go along. I have to be a little bit more of a plotter to make sure that I get the timelines right and the situations right, and sometimes even the conversations right. And so that, I would say, I was a pantser. I'm moving more to a plotter, but the specifics are pantsy. Conversations are pantsy.
That makes sense to me. I kind of write the same way, I think. How many books are planned in your series, and are you going to keep writing rock stars after this series is done?
So the good news is because I'm such a uber fan of all of these amazing authors, and, you know, I've just been a fan. I kind of, again, I saw what they were doing, and I sort of thought ahead to what I wanted to do, because I want to write as many books as I can possibly squeeze out of my brain. So, spoiler alert, in Fearless, Connor comes from a big family of brothers. So, for instance, there may be a spinoff with Connor and his family. So that may or may not be rock stars. I'm going to let you guys read to find out if there are any rock stars in there. But there's also a little bit of social purpose in every one of my books. And so For instance, in Endless, Tyson creates a program, a nonprofit that will make sure that arts are available in schools across the country. So I feel like there may be something there about, a band or musician or something that comes up through that system. I do think that every one of my characters are going to get a follow-up book. One of my favorite dual authors are Carrie Quinn and Taryn Elliott, and their Lost in Oblivion series. Like I think their first series, each one of their main characters gets a follow-up book, and then they go off into all these other rock stars as part of their record label. And I really like that because I always feel like when the book's over, I want to know what happens next. Like you get your happily ever after, and what happens then. And so I just fall in love with the characters I fall in love with. So if people love my characters, I want them to have at least a little bit more than just seeing
There's never enough.
Yeah.
There's never enough.
No, there's never enough.
Especially of rock stars. There's never enough rock stars.
I agree.
All right, this is a really good question. Do you have any deleted scenes or things that didn't make it into the books that you can share with us? Maybe not right now, but at some point.
Yes, hundreds. I rewrote, and like I said, my two friends who I shouted out earlier were my beta readers and have been my beta readers on pretty much every book. And I think if they were here, and maybe they're here, maybe they're not, I'm not going to say because they're anonymous if they are, they would tell you that the trajectory of how I wrote and probably even like my style of writing changed a lot. And also, like, you write something, you think you're going to do something, and maybe the character doesn't want to do that. So, like, in the beginning, I would kind of force it because in my mind, like, this is my story. It's really not my story. It's the character's story. And so they'll do things that you're like, what the hell? But I also have to give a shout out because one of the things I wanted to make sure I did, and for anyone that wants to start writing, I really highly encourage this, is find someone that can be a real editor to you, and not an editor that is like going to cheer you on and say, oh, everything you do is great and your sentence structure rules, and oh my gosh, you're amazing. You don't want that person. You want someone that's going to come in and make you a better writer. And so I found that person. Again, trolling my fellow authors, I found my editor, and Grace Bradley is my editor. And I don't know if she's on this stream, but she's amazing, and I think she's taking clients. So, but she really has made me time and time again a better writer in the sense that there are certain little things, like I couldn't remember, like I write for a living in my real life. Like I'm not quite a full-time author yet, but the stuff I write is not fiction. And so I didn't know how the sentence structure was to like put quotes, like when people are talking in dialogue. I just couldn't remember. Like I took it in high school, and I hadn't written anything since. So it's little things like that, because I wanted to make sure that when the story came out, there was nothing distracting of like, oh, your punctuation sucks, or oh, you don't know, or you have some sort of crazy grammar problems. I wanted that to be gone, but I also wanted her to really give me an idea of how to flow the story, and if there was ways that I could edit out scenes and things like that. So yeah, so there's stuff that she would say, you know what, I think this might be really long. You might consider editing some of this out or condensing it, things like that.
Yeah, and I agree. You want an editor who's going to be honest with you, and make you a better writer, like you said. I think that's what makes an editor a good editor. Okay, so one last question, and this is about Carter. Will Carter's Restless novella be expanded on to give us more about he and Lee? Is it Leanne? Leanne's life and his band Limelight. That would be amazing too.
So there is a plan. So right now I'm in the middle of writing Timeless, which is Zane's story. And Zane, for those who have read my books, know is Carter's son. So I'm guessing you'll see a little bit of Carter and Leanne in Zane's book, just maybe. And so then I will see, because I've had a few people email me and want me to do the whole Limelight is Carter's band. So in the book, Carter is a famous guitar player, and his son Zane is now the famous guitar player in Lesson Zero. And So he has this whole band and this whole story. It's set in the 90s. So if I do it, I'll probably pull it back and sort of do them at the same age as the Lesson Zero guys are, if I do it. So yeah, I mean, if people want me to write it, a lot of it is, what inspires you, and so we'll see. I think I want to get through all of the LTZ stuff first. And we have an anthology coming up too, right?
We do have an anthology coming up.
Yeah, so Sasha invited me. This was this is when I knew I'd made it, when a fellow Rockstar Romance author invited me to be part of an anthology. So if nothing else ever happens, that is the coolest thing. So do you want to talk about our anthology?
Oh, it's Rockstars Ball anthology. It'll be out November the 18th of this year. We have Charlie B. Rose, Kelly Campbell, Kayleen Winter, myself, Tyler Page, Sharn Kindwin, Kenna Shaw Reed. Who am I missing? Letha.
Yep.
Wilkinson. And I'm missing one more. And Marcia.
Yes.
And then let's see. We're going to be it's going to be a ceremony, and all of our bands will be there together. I'm trying to make sure I tell everything like it's going to be without giving too much away. So all of our bands will be there together, and there will be an event that happens within the event that I'm not going to spoil just yet, that we'll all kind of experience in different ways. But we're all going to be at the same place. All these bands are going to be in the same place. They'll be performing. They'll be receiving awards, giving awards out. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Interacting, having conversations with each other. So
interacting, yes. I know I spoke with Kayleen and a couple of other authors, and I'm like, I need to get with you, and we need to write these scenes back and forth. So I'm really excited about that too.
Absolutely.
Ladies, sorry, I had technical difficulties. I am in my son's room now. So you guys hurry up. I had to mute myself. I'm like, I have to end the broadcast or this would have been for nothing. So you guys wrap it up. And then after we're done and say goodbye, just wait in the lobby and then.
Cool. Well, for me, it's I really appreciate all of you who are here listening. We're going to post this in a lot of different places. If you weren't able to, you can let people know. Sasha and I really and Kiki too, she inspired us because she has this platform that we're trusting out today. But we really, we participate in a lot of different author parties, and we wanted to we're a little bit rebellious, I would say. And so we wanted to try and do something more interactive and fun. And I know that I always like to sort of see the authors and hopefully get some behind the scenes and fun stuff. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Fearless.
We can always do small little Q&As and little things like this. Anytime you guys want to, we can set this up and I can bounce out and just hang out in the lobby and do other things. You can even invite readers in. That's something new too, is the readers could come on and we can share the link with them and ask their question live. StreamYard gives you so many options to do so many fun things. The readers are really loving this platform.
So I think that, in my romance group and in Rocker Romance, which is my reader group, please go and like it if you haven't already. We're going to post all the links to Fearless and to all of us authors, where you can find us. I just want to say that it's really important for us as authors for you to follow us in different places like Goodreads and BookBub and Amazon, even liking or following us as an author page. There's a lot of different algorithms and things like that. And when you're a self-published author, those things really make a difference. And the other thing that really makes a difference is writing a review, even if it's a couple lines on any of these platforms. When you get more reviews, you get more visibility. And so all of the people that you saw today we're all on our own journey. We don't have publishers. We don't have, we bring our own team together. So I'm bringing Kiki and Sasha and I are bounding together and we're really trying to support each other. So I just wanted to say for not just me, but for all of us that were on today, if you like the sound of any of us, really, really makes a difference. And follow, Instagram and TikTok. Follow me on TikTok now that I'm a new TikTok viral star.
She is, guys. She is.
But I love it. I got to tell you, it's really fun. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Kiki, for hosting, and Sasha for just being my partner in crime on getting this done.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it went well.
Yes, I think it went really
I
well.
think it did. The comments were moving, and everybody that was involved, I thought it went really, really well. I do a lot of these, and I thought this was one of the better ones. And I love that we had so many people in there and introductions, and I thought it went really well. So yeah.
Yeah.
And happy
Good job,
Patty's
guys. Well, like Kayleen said, check out the group. You can rewatch this in the group because it was alive, so we can put it in the announcements. So for those of your friends who missed it, they can rewatch it. Because it is an hour, we'll figure out the downloading process because that's going to be a big file, but we will figure it out. And hopefully we'll do this again. Sasha, you were a great little host as well. And Kayleen,
Thank you. It was my first time.
sister, we're so proud of you.
Yay! Thanks, guys.